Imagine a song so powerful it can transcend borders, but also so politically charged that its victory feels less like a musical triumph and more like a global referendum. Did you know that the Eurovision Song Contest, often seen as a flamboyant celebration of music, has evolved into an astonishingly accurate barometer of geopolitical tensions and humanitarian sentiment? In this video, we're not just looking back at glittery costumes, we're diving deep into the explosive current state of Eurovision. We'll unravel the controversies surrounding the immense power of the public vote, particularly for nations embroiled in conflict, explore how countries like Ukraine and Israel navigate this complex landscape, and reveal the shocking truth of how a song contest became a stage for international politics, drawing in record-breaking audiences worldwide. Get ready to see Eurovision through an entirely new lens. The contemporary era of the Eurovision Song Contest is undeniably shaped by global events, especially armed conflicts, transforming the competition into something far more than just a musical showcase. The most striking example in recent years is Ukraine, whose trajectory has set a precedent that continues to reverberate, most notably leading into the 2025 festival. Their emotional victory in 2022, with Kalush Orchestra's Stefania, wasn't merely about the song's quality, it was an overwhelming global outpouring of solidarity following the invasion. The sheer weight of the emotional narrative, seeing a nation under attack perform on such a prominent international stage, propelled them to triumph via the televote. This pattern of public empathy translating into points continued, albeit with nuances, in 2023 and 2024, where Ukrainian entries consistently received significant televote support, even when the jury results favored other nations. This phenomenon is no accident. It's a direct consequence of the voting system, which allows collective emotions to manifest in points. Viewers aren't just voting for melodies, they're voting for messages, for stories, and in times of conflict, for a sense of unity or support. The European Broadcasting Union, EBU, consistently asserts the contest's apolitical nature, but the reality on the ground, especially within the televote, tells a different story. Countries are acutely aware that global perceptions of their situation can influence their results, introducing a layer of geopolitical strategy that was once unimaginable. It's no longer just about vocal talent or staging, it's about the subtle, or not so subtle narrative each nation projects, intentionally or not, to the world. The participation of Israel in recent Eurovision contests, particularly in 2024 and leading into 2025, has become a hotbed of controversy and a significant challenge for the EBU. Unlike Ukraine, whose involvement garnered widespread support, Israel's presence amid its ongoing conflict has triggered intense backlash from large segments of the audience and even some participating delegations. This stark difference in public reception stems from accusations of a perceived double standard by the EBU. Critics argue that while Russia was swiftly excluded after its invasion of Ukraine, Israel has maintained its participation despite its military actions, leading to widespread charges of hypocrisy and selective politicization. We've witnessed massive protests in host cities, calls for boycotts from artists and fan groups, and a palpable atmosphere of tension during press conferences and pre-festival events. Delegations from other countries have expressed discomfort, some artists have chosen not to participate or limited their interactions, and social media platforms have become volatile arenas for debate and condemnation. This situation has profoundly eroded the credibility of Eurovision as a purely unifying musical event, forcing the organization to implement unprecedented security measures and navigate an environment of hostility that starkly contrasts its intended festive spirit. The EBU's defense, that the contest is between public service broadcasters, not governments, and that the Israel Broadcasting Authority, IPBC, meets its requirements, has largely failed to quell the outrage, with many viewing Israel's participation as a tacit endorsement of its actions or, at the very least, an indifference to humanitarian suffering. The current voting system is central to understanding these dynamics. Since 2016, a mechanism was introduced where professional jury points and public televote points are presented separately. First, each country announces its jury points, from 1 to 12, and then all televote points from all countries are aggregated and announced from lowest to highest. Professional juries comprised of music industry experts typically prioritize vocal quality, composition, and originality, often leading to results that diverge significantly from public sentiment. The televote, however, is a different beast entirely. Here, emotional factors, diaspora votes, historical or cultural alliances, the infamous neighborly vote, and crucially in recent years, geopolitical solidarity come heavily into play. When a country like Ukraine or controversially Israel participates amid conflict, the televote essentially becomes an emotional referendum. My controversial opinion here is that while the EBU champions the current system as fair and balanced, the reality is that the televote, in specific geopolitical contexts, has ceased to be a purely musical vote and has transformed into a direct barometer of global public opinion on international conflicts. This isn't necessarily detrimental to the EBU in terms of audience engagement, as controversy often fuels interest and viewership. However, for the musical purist, it undeniably distorts the competition. The evidence is clear. Countries in conflict perceived as victims or generating strong global empathy like Ukraine in 2022 receive massive televote support that propels them to the top ranks, often far exceeding their jury scores. Conversely, nations perceived as aggressors or those eliciting widespread disapproval, like Israel for many, may receive significantly lower televote scores or even direct booing in the arena, regardless of their musical entry's quality. The recent winners and perennial favorites offer further insight into these complex currents. Take JJ with Wasted Love winning the 2025 contest. While the song had undeniable melodic appeal and a compelling performance, its victory was amplified by a nuanced confluence of factors. Perhaps the narrative of overcoming personal struggle resonated deeply, or it benefited from a strong placement in the running order and a visually striking stage show. Beyond the individual winner, countries like Sweden and Italy consistently remain strong contenders. However, the emerging favorites are increasingly sensitive to the emotional zeitgeist. An act that can effectively convey a message of unity, resilience, or hope, even if its musical composition isn't groundbreaking, can surge ahead thanks to overwhelming televote support. The EBU faces an immense challenge: how to uphold the artistic integrity of the festival as a musical competition while navigating the turbulent waters of global politics. Rules against explicit political messages are strict, but subtext, implicit narratives, and public reaction are far more difficult to control. The participation of certain countries ignites a level of scrutiny and polarization that transcends the music, transforming press conferences into political debates and performances into platforms for subtle protest or overt support. These controversies are inherent to a festival of this magnitude, involving so many diverse nations, but their intensity has undeniably escalated, making each edition feel like a thermometer for global tensions, far beyond being a mere celebration of song. The record-breaking audiences this contest continues to attract, drawing hundreds of millions of viewers worldwide each year, underscore its immense cultural power and its inadvertent role as a unique global stage for these geopolitical dramas. Ultimately, the Eurovision Song Contest has long transcended its origins as a simple song competition. It has transformed into a unique cultural and social phenomenon that reflects, for better or worse, the intricate complexities of our interconnected world. The controversies surrounding the participation of nations in conflict, the undeniable influence of the televote as a tool for political expression, and the tension between the EBU's declared apolitical stance and geopolitical realities are all facets of the same coin. Eurovision is a mirror to society, reflecting its empathies, its divisions, and its deep-seated desire for expression. It's no longer just about who sings best or what song is catchiest. It's about the stories told, the solidarities forged, and the controversies ignited. It's a stark reminder that even on a stage designed for joy and unity, the realities of the real world will always find a way to infiltrate and leave their indelible mark. What do you think? Should Eurovision strictly adhere to an apolitical stance, or do you believe its role as a platform for expression and solidarity is inevitable and even necessary in these turbulent times? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the debate. And if you found this analysis as fascinating as we did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the hidden narratives that shape our world.